Listener advisory. This is just a stupid podcast we're doing for shits and giggles. So we apologize to any of you poor bastards that have to be subjected to, well, you know, all of this. If you stick around long enough, I'm sure you'll see what I mean. If you find dark humor and discussing awful shit with a bit of levity distasteful, well, how do you exist? Seriously, you must have a secret and I don't even want it. But really, this podcast will not be for you. And you'd probably be better off listening to any of the more somber-toned true crime podcasts that are available. For those of you still listening, you sick and twisted fucks, welcome to the worst. If we did this right, hopefully you won't like yourself by the end, but you'll laugh. Hello and welcome to The Worst, the podcast of everything that is the worst. I'm your host, Mark, and sitting next to me is my lovely wife and co-host, Gina.
That's me.
That's you.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Not too bad, and together we are constantly Mental Illness Theater.
Wouldn't have it any other way, sweetheart.
No, I mean, you know, it'd be weird if one of us was normal.
Right.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oof.
I feel bad for
Who
him.
is this weirdo in my house?
Why do they keep talking about this weird shit? Fucking, shouldn't laugh at those things.
Oh no.
It'd be my mother and my father. Of course, who am I kidding? Dad was snickering under his breath as he said that to my mother. Like, you know, you shouldn't laugh at that.
You've met my mom and dad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So how are you doing tonight?
I am lovely, how are you?
Not too bad. We're sitting here on a freezing fucking evening and night.
It is minus 25 or so, yeah.
Yeah, we're experiencing New Brunswick winter here. It gets cold.
I have experienced plenty of New Brunswick winters. I was born here, lived here till I was 5, and then I moved to Winnipeg, which, you know...
It's even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm from Nova Scotia. I've always been on the shore, so I'm used to slop.
Yeah.
You know, minus 10 Celsius, but still wet at all times.
Oh, yeah, it's constantly wet there.
Yeah, and now it's been, what, a streak of...
Minus 20 for a few days?
Yeah, it's weird for me.
Yeah, and we got 5 or 6 more days of minus 20 coming your way, and...
I honestly don't find it that terrible, so it could be worse.
No, once you get used to it.
Mm-hmm. It's not like this is minus 20 in fucking March, and it's like, okay, that can fuck right off. Yeah.
It's still January.
Yeah, right.
We're okay.
Exactly. Want to hear a story?
Yeah, I'd love to hear a story.
Well, tonight we have another fun one coming to us from the Ukraine, because why not do more Ukrainians? Because they never disappoint. It's always just a fucking over-the-top kill fest. What are you doing?
Right.
Because, you know, you're in Russia and the Ukraine.
Exactly.
Today we're covering a guy who had his own system for, you know, robbery, which included a hell of a lot of killing. And, there's no other way to say it. He just went off everywhere he went. He went off. You just want to avoid this guy as a whole. Tonight we are covering a serial killer known as the Terminator. And also, I think another nickname he had was Citizen X.
Ooh.
He's a bad one. We are doing
that.
Anatoly Onoprienko. So get ready for me to stumble over fucking 52 Russian names, because that's how many people this monster fucking kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of a serial killer called the Terminator, but this guy lives up to it.
That's a good, terrible serial killer moniker, you know? It's terrifying.
And for him, it's accurate, because the one thing through this that I found, he's cold. It's just, there's a coldness to Anatoly Onoprienko that really, he does deserve the name Terminator, because he does not care.
It's going to be a fun ride, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it is what it is. Here we are.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, back to the Ukraine. Woo!
Yeah, it's funny, because... I told my boss, he asked me to record some content for work. I said, good, I'll be recording Russian murder.
Yep.
And art content.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just like, that's the best vibe I've ever heard.
And possibly a tiny worst for the Patreon.
Yes.
Anatoly Onoprienko is a man that took the gauntlet thrown down by Ukrainian serial killers like Sergei Kach and Andrei Chikatilo, and he ran with it. Kach worked as a police investigator and killed at least 35 people and possibly over 100 women and girls.
Yeah, he's fucking vicious.
Yeah, if I can find enough on him, he would
I'd
definitely...
love to. He's Jesus Christ. Russia,
Yeah.
you're terrifying.
And especially the Ukraine.
Yeah, I don't want to be a woman in Russia.
Mm-mm. Absolutely not.
Oof,
Not in
they
any way.
Must be some of the toughest women on earth.
My friend Dumas in China, and when he was in Korea and shit, knew some, and he said they're either completely subservient or they're absolutely out of their fucking minds. There's no in between.
You'd have to be.
Yeah, you do not.
I know which side I'd be on.
Yeah, and that's usually who he hung out with, was the scary ones. Because
Yeah.
even his friend Sergey was terrified of him. And he came from Vladivostok, where, as he put it, the Saturday night was listening to free jazz in a bar and getting stabbed.
Yeah.
So, Sergey, whew.
It's a fun Saturday night.
Yeah.
I think ours is better recording at home.
He was happy to be in Korea. I'll put it. He's one of those Russians, happy to be out.
Yeah.
And of course, Andrei Chikatilo was Captain Limp himself, and he was the embodiment of a human cumsock that killed 52 people.
Yes,
I mean, there's no
was.
other way to put it. He is. He's a human cumsock.
Yeah.
What would you call Andrei Chikatilo?
Jeez, I feel like that's about it.
Just
He's
like
just
the cumsock came to life. It got lost under the bed for 9 months and then came to life, and it turned into fucking Chikatilo, and then it just raped and killed and blood-fested 52 people. Onoprienko killed at least 52 people in a way that has few parallels for a modern killer. He was a drifter that would find isolated homes in small villages, and then he would spend some time casing it. When the time was right, he would break in, kill whoever was there, and rob the place. After he was finished, he usually set the house on fire and just left. And while this MO has been used before, it's been rarely seen to this extreme. 52 people this way? That's a lot of people.
Yeah, that is a lot of people.
But yeah, he reminds me kind of the man from the train idea.
Yes.
In the sense that, he was presumed to be active from, turn of the century into the 20s. He just went by train and he would find farmhouses kind of standing by themselves, kill everyone in them, usually rob them, and then just leave. And if the idea of him is true, he put up an absolutely horrific number of victims doing this, and guess what? So did Onoprienko, just in the late 20th century.
Yeah. And I put some stock into the man from the train theory.
I haven't seen enough, but
it's fascinating.
It makes some sense, because it's not
really
like there are a lot of those types of murders happening in America, and I mean, up into Canada too at the time. So when you really put them together,
yeah,
maybe there was someone just axe murdering fucking entire families for shits and giggles because he could.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a nice thought. And also, before we get started, I would like you to keep account of one thing as we go through. The ridiculous amount of people who are going to be killed in this story named either Sergey or Galina. I don't know if he had a thing for killing fucking people named Sergey and Galina, but man, he racks up a lot of them.
Weird.
I don't know if, I'm pretty sure Sergey and Galina are very popular names in the Ukraine, but still.
Sergey, at least.
Yeah. It's the Ukraine. They just run out of names eventually.
Apparently they're not that creative.
You're Sergey 1, you're Sergey 2. Daddy tired of naming.
Yes.
Anatoly Onoprienko was born on July 25th, 1959, so, oh my god, he's a Leo.
Just like my mom.
Nice. She'll
love that.
Has your mom killed 52 people?
She has not.
I don't think she has.
No.
Doesn't seem the type.
No, I would be... seriously? That would be the most shocking thing in the world
Wow!
to me. What?
What the fuck have you been up to?
Ha!
And he was born in an unpronounceably named shithole village near Lasky in eastern Ukraine. I could try to pronounce it, but there's enough I'm going to have to try to pronounce. I looked at the village name and was like, fuck, I didn't even write it down. Yeah, not even starting with it. When he was only 4 years old, his mother died, and he was left with his father, Yuri, a World War II vet, and a brother who was 13 years his senior, Valentin. This was in 60s Ukraine, which is bad enough. Now your mother's dead, and you're basically left with your old Soviet fucking ex-military father and a brother who is old enough to almost be your father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to go well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. From here, it only goes downhill. To steal the line from Crime and Sports, he's already hit Grace. Yep. Shortly after the death of his mother, Yuri and Valentin decided they weren't equipped to take care of the young Anatoly, and they bundled him off and sent him to his grandparents.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me. Yeah. I can't do this. Your mother did all this. I don't know how to handle a kid.
God damn, I fly planes and shit and kill fucking Nazis. I don't have time to raise a son.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Ooh, weird potato.
I don't want it. You take it.
This arrangement wasn't good enough for Yuri and Valentin, and it really didn't work out overall because the grandparents were in their 80s and too old to take care of a young child.
Yeah.
And so they arranged to send Anatoly to an orphanage instead of being cared for by any other family. Nice family. You're being sent off to a 1960s Ukrainian orphanage.
Oh. Well, I mean, I don't want to raise them, so...
Yeah, off you go.
Yeah, see ya.
The state will do a great job.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Of learning you.
Yes.
Raising you. Making you a
horrifying.
fine Soviet citizen. That will be known as the Terminator. In the orphanage, the only family member that came to visit Onoprienko was his grandmother, and she would bring toys and sweets for the boy. Eventually, she was able to get Onoprienko moved to a better orphanage, which is funny. There are levels of Ukrainian orphanages in the 60s.
That's,
But once again, because of her age, there was little more this woman could do.
Oh, yeah.
And she seems like the only person who ever, in Onoprienko's entire life, is actually pulling for him at any point.
Right. She gave as much of a shit as she could. She just wasn't equipped to care for him.
She tried to raise him, couldn't because it was just too much. He was sent to an orphanage. She's the only one who shows up. Yeah.
I mean, my parents were good parents, but I can't imagine handing them a kid and being like, here you go.
This is yours now.
This is yours now.
You're saying that's not your plan right now, is for us to have a kid and just pass him off to your parents and be like, here. This is yours now.
I think they would be a little upset, and yeah, the kid might wind up somewhere else.
I'd be a little upset.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did this come from?
Right? Well, the labor force. We need those babies so we can have more slaves.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I still like the Pope telling us, people aren't having enough kids. Guy married to God and not having any children himself is saying, we're not having enough kids.
Yeah, right.
Can we borrow some of your fucking gold, you funny-hatted prick?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, because
you
not.
pay for the kids? Because that's the problem.
I know, it's the religious way. We don't give a shit about that kid once it's spewed out.
No.
Your problem now.
Yeah.
So this time in Onoprienko's life would become a pivotal point for him, as he later claimed it was the time he spent in a Soviet-Russian orphanage during the 60s and 70s that messed him up for life.
You think?
He might have a point.
Yeah.
But then he later went on to say that 70% of everyone that grew up in an orphanage later spent time in prison later in their life. I don't know if it's that high. I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't know the stats on Russian orphanage to prison funneling,
I'm sure not even they do, because that doesn't seem like a stat they even care about.
Yeah, right?
The Russians are not the Germans. They don't keep records of almost anything.
Yeah. I wish they were more like the Germans when it came to that, because those records would be interesting.
Absolutely, but I always like, for an example of how not caring the Russians are about that type of thing. Right up until the First World War, First World War, every other nation, if someone gets killed, they try to find out as fast as possible and send word back to the family so the family knows. Russia didn't give a shit, and the family would find out when they gave up hope. That was the standard procedure. Didn't matter that your fucking loved one was blown up in, whatever. They'll find out when they find out.
We'll figure it out when he doesn't come home.
It's like the equivalent of, the military equivalent of a no call, no show. They'll know when they know.
Jesus Christ, Russia.
After he was arrested, which is way off, but still, Onoprienko would claim that one of his biggest motivations for his killings was his hatred of families because he had never had a family.
Bitter. I could get,
Straight, vicious Ukrainian bitterness.
Yep. Bitter, jealousy, bitter. Yep.
You got something I've always wanted and never had.
And I can't have it now because now I'm an adult and I can never go back.
I'm this fucked up.
Yeah, right.
He further explained that he had no problem wiping out children because, in his view, it was better for these children to be dead than to put into an orphanage. That's a pretty...
dark view.
He's not selling Ukrainian orphanages very
No,
well.
he is not.
This is not an advertisement. Or sponsor today.
Ukrainian orphanages. We'll take your weird potatoes.
During the Soviet era and turn them into a guy they called the Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine, though.
At 14, Onoprienko enrolled at a forestry school because this is the USSR and that was a thing, apparently. Forestry school.
Yeah.
Does Canada have forestry school?
We have forestry courses and things like that, and yes.
Is it the type of
Kind
thing...
of. Agricultural colleges and things like this, yes.
Is it the type of thing you would enroll in at 14, though?
That's probably a little young for us.
Yeah, I think that's more what's sticking out to me, is that he was 14. Like, this isn't a secondary, like, you finished high school and then went into. This is, like, kind of junior high.
Which,
You
in
work
some
with-
ways, to me, is more just like a European thing. Where,
That's
you know,
true, too.
I went to culinary school, and my chef instructor
Yeah.
was Austrian, and he started as an apprentice in a bakery in Austria when he was 14.
Right?
And that's, you know, like, part of his school day was spent learning to bake.
Well, now you mentioned, I mentioned Ludo when I worked at the West, and
Yeah.
he was the insanely intense Serbian-French fucking confectionery
Yes.
chef. And yeah, he started at 15.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he was great. He was
That's
amazing.
very, very common over in Europe to start young if you're apprenticing to become a skilled trade.
That guy was intense.
Yeah, yeah.
Holy shit. The
So
Serbian
was Chef
Frenchman.
Richard, the Austrian chef
Yeah.
instructor,
Oh, no.
who was a bronze culinary Olympic winner. So yeah, no, little intense.
This guy was just a confectionery chef from France that was Serbian. So everything about him was just amplifying the intensity.
Yeah.
Anyway, after 3 years at this forestry school, Onoprienko was expelled for failing grades. So, you know, he went and he apparently didn't know much about trees. Anatoly.
I don't understand how you can fail certain courses.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it makes sense because his teachers found that Onoprienko was more interested in stealing, smoking, and drinking vodka than school.
Well,
And with this attitude in tow, Onoprienko joined the Soviet military.
yeah.
Hey, you like to steal, smoke, and drink?
Yeah.
Have you ever been in tank?
Is all we do.
So he's already got a really good trajectory here. He's gone from an orphanage to a forestry school to military.
He is on his way.
Yes, he is. And the entire time he's growing up, he's sort of shy, but he's more the type he has no friends whatsoever, shows no interest in women, and shows no interest in having friends. Like, he is just a loner and doesn't care. Which is a little weird.
But also, to me, makes sense in some ways because when all of your close connections are severed at such a young age and you're shuffled off into an orphanage with strangers, and sure, your grandmother visits a little bit and stuff.
Yeah. It's not exactly...
Yeah, it doesn't exactly foster someone who's going to nourish relationships with other humans.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. It
I just-
really makes sense to me.
I just found it weird because it was specifically said that he wasn't really shy.
He just didn't want to.
He's just apathetic. Just
Yeah.
didn't care. He had no interest. And it's like, I have no interest in
All
lots of
humans
things.
have hurt me. Why would I want to have any interest in them? I get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Oh, God,
it's
yeah.
a terrible mindset to be in, but I get where, you know, look at his early life.
I mean, I'm not like that with people, but as a person who has really no interest in some things, I do get where that
absolutely,
comes
yeah.
from. Like, yeah, not even a hateful thing, just complete... Me and the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I just have no interest whatsoever and just don't want to be involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's basically what Anatoly Onoprienko did with the entire human race. He looked at it and was like, "This
not for me.
This is not for me."
I get it.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah, I get it.
So after spending,
You don't have to kill them. You can just,
yeah, he goes a little extreme.
you know, like, just stay right in the, like, neutral zone of This isn't for me.
You can
People, not for me.
You can be antisocial without killing dozens of people in their homes.
You can be antisocial without killing a single human ever.
That's asking a lot.
I've made it this far.
Have you?
Yes.
So after 3 years in the military, Onoprienko became a sailor at the age of 20 and eventually got a job on a cruise ship, the TS Maxim Gorky. At the time, which is the late 70s, the Maxim Gorky was the most luxurious ship in the Soviet fleet, and it sailed the Black Sea out of Odessa.
Sorry, just luxury and Soviet fleet those don't go together.
Oh, I've got a lineup of jokes here, like written down.
I'm dying.
My question is, what does make it the most luxurious? Does it have the most turnips on board?
Working toilets?
It's the only ship in the entire Soviet Union that doesn't have a gulag in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It actually has toilet seats.
Ooh.
White bread instead of rye bread.
Oh.
You know? I'm assuming this is what counts as luxury. Nice. No weird secret police breaking into your fucking cabin when you're not around. Because, funny thing was, while on the cruise ship, Onoprienko spent most of his time stealing from the cabins.
What?
So instead of secret police, you had Onoprienko floating around.
Well, I mean, you got stuff and I like it.
That's nice stuff.
Yeah, I want some of that stuff.
Yeah, and he spent most of his time on the ship honing his robbery skills, later bragging that he had a key for almost every cabin on the ship.
Yeah.
Let that sink in next time you're on a cruise.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I don't think there's going to be a next time I'm on a cruise for me, but, you know.
I've never been, and I have no interest once again.
Oh.
I forget who said it, but someone once said that to him being on a boat is like being in prison with the threat of drowning. Yeah. And that's and add a fucking cruise where all that food is on board. I don't like this idea. Can we go to port and get more food? How long have those crab legs been there? Rubbery crab leg.
Oh, you don't eat the crab legs.
What about the moist baby corn?
I didn't eat that either. But the dessert buffet that showed up at midnight every night.
I dunk my head in the hot tub in the cruise ship.
They're pretty good cream puffs, that's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. Know what foods to avoid on the cruise.
Yeah. And take a lesson from my folks who were Canadians, and so we were booking it for our March break.
Yeah.
And they didn't realize that was also college spring break.
Right.
So I had fun because I was 17, and
yeah, they had a bit of a rough time.
It was a bit of a college kid-filled ship for them, I think.
Right.
You know, they still enjoyed it, especially, you know, all the ports and seeing different places. That was more their enjoyment. But yeah, the time on the ship was just like that was a lot of drunk 20-somethings.
All right.
Yeah.
It was also during this time that Onoprienko met the person that would first become his wife, Irina. No last name, just Irina. Before long, Irina got pregnant, and the couple moved back to the eastern Ukraine because Irina wasn't huge on the idea of working on a cruise ship while full-blown pregnant.
Nope. Nope. I actually, after culinary school, looked at working on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they have 6 and 9 month contracts. It's a good way to make some money and not spend your money.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because your room and board's taken care of.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure, you can spend in ports and whatnot, but you wind up saving some money during
it's still going to be cheaper.
And I just couldn't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I've already done the shared living arrangement in a resort.
Yeah.
And that was on land. Throw in the constant threat of drowning. I just, no.
Plus, no one ever goes missing on cruise ships.
Right.
That'll be its own episode.
Hey, a girl went missing from the same cruise line I was on a week after my cruise.
Nice.
Yeah. Rather famous one, too. And I can't think of her name for the life of me right now. Yeah. Amy Bradley.
Don't know, but I might know the case to read it. You know me, I'm terrible with names. Onoprienko wasn't too happy to give up his life as a cruise ship burglar to be a daddy, and he bailed on Irina and their baby just weeks after their child was born. So he saw the family life for a couple weeks, and he was like, nope.
Yeah.
Hard stop, I'm out. He would never contact either again, as Onoprienko looked at the family life, and he doubled down on being a criminal.
He dipped his toe in, trying fatherhood, and it was like, no.
I am a criminal at heart.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with that little screaming, wailing pile of humans.
Which, to be fair, I mean, it might not have been the criminality, because I'm sure there are many
Oh yeah, it has nothing to do with him being a
family
criminal.
men criminals.
Yeah.
Even from the Ukraine.
Oh fuck yeah. I don't think it has anything to do with that, and has more entirely to do with his personality.
Well, Chikatilo was a family man. Well, he did his thing.
Right.
He gave his
BTK.
wife... Yeah, Chikatilo gave his wife the old sloppy palm to have a kid. Oh, yeah.
God.
Yeah, he did. Slurp, slurp.
God damn it. It's like the grossest. It's just so gross. I don't even know why.
It's what he did.
I think it's only gross because it's him.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen him?
Yeah.
Fuck.
But, just, no. No sloppy palms.
And also, at an unspecified time, we just get a time frame, Onoprienko was known to authorities and was in an outpatient program of a local psychiatric hospital at some point between 1979 and 89. Because we're in the Ukraine and we do vague, and this is still Soviet till 89, so
Yeah.
it's very vague, but at some point he was involved in the Russian psychiatric fucking system, which could mean anything.
Yeah.
Mean he said something bad about the government once.
Exactly.
It could mean he was full on fucking schizophrenic.
And treatment could be anything from, hey, we saw you, you seem alright, to we are gonna zap the fuckery right out of your brain. Yeah, so like...
No, it could be as simple as making a very fine point of, you know what you said about the government? You're not saying that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just take you on a tour of the place and show you what'll happen. See that guy? We've been zapping him straight for 7 hours.
Yeah. Now what you said, you didn't say it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So then, of course, because this is the Soviet Union and Ukraine, there's a huge blank spot in information on Onoprienko, basically from the point he gets off the cruise ship and leaves his family until 1989 and the end of the Soviet Union. So who knows what the fuck he was doing? Because this is basically the range of his age from being 20 years old to 30. Usually the prime of a serial killer. Or at least the startup prime of a serial killer.
Yeah.
And this is a guy who pulls down 52 victims. No one knows what he's doing during that time.
I have a feeling he was doing something.
And he's already a criminal.
Yeah, it just didn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah. He says, nothing.
I didn't do nothing.
I was just robbing places and shit. And it might be true.
Right,
But
could be.
we'll see. There's always sketchiness. When you're dealing with Russians and Soviets and Ukrainians.
And their records.
Yeah, right. And their memories. Because this guy's memory, we'll see. We get into a little Mark hot take coming up. But the number of his victims, depending on when he actually started, changes.
Of course it does.
Yep. Love it.
Did you have fun researching that?
You can see the count of victims as I'm going through. I'll actually point them out on the script as we're going. But you'll see why my math works and theirs doesn't. Ha!
Shocker.
I'm a dick. During this blank spot, Onoprienko said he just was a proper Ukrainian scumbag, making his living as a thief and through burglary. And it was in 1989 that he met another scumbag by the name of Sergei Rogozhin at a local gym. Jesus Christ.
It's always a
gym. Rogozhin was a veteran of the Soviet-Afghan War, so
a little bit of trauma in there.
He's
doing well.
He's probably seen and done some shit.
Yeah.
That even grizzled Russians would be like, fuck.
Yeah. Sure, he's totally normal.
And the two started robbing together shortly after meeting. So, hey, you rob, I rob, you're a veteran, I'm fucking nuts. This is a good mix.
Yeah. Party.
And they found that as a team, they were making more cash than they were solo, because it was just easier for one guy to basically be the lookout, make sure no one caught you, and the other guy to rifle through shit. Plus, you had two people to take the shit out at the end of said robbery.
Right.
You can carry more. So, they found... Yep.
I mean, honestly,
yep.
Duh.
They're doing fine.
Yeah.
The Soviet Union is crumbling around us in 1989, but we found something that worked.
Yeah, we are good at robbing.
It's basically us right now. We got married in the fall of 2019, and then, like a month later...
We met, okay. We met at the end of summer 2019.
The very end.
Yeah.
Yep, second last day to August 2019. We got married on November 1st because we're crazy.
Yep.
Same year, 2019. And then like a month later, we start hearing about this COVID thing. And then basically the end of the world happened.
Yeah. We've been locked inside together ever since.
I get these guys. They found something that was working for them as everything crumbled.
Yeah.
Hey!
Hey, look at that.
High five.
We did that.
So yeah, they found that this was working, and this continued until one random night in June 1989, when things got a little more serious than Rogozhin had bargained for. Just a little more serious. I'm doing good, and then... As is almost always the case with criminals in the Soviet Union and ex-Soviet states, some of the details of Onoprienko's crimes, especially his early crimes, are a little murky. Most narratives say that the first killing by Onoprienko was the annihilation of a family of 10 during a botched robbery.
Jesus!
Yep. And it's alleged Rogozhin was part of these murders, although he was never charged. And this is where I was saying about the math. If you do the math, it doesn't add up. Onoprienko was charged with 52 murders, 9 in 1989, 43 between 1995 and 1996. Basically, that comes out to 52. If he killed 10 to start off in 1989, there's no way he killed 9 in 1989. And we're going to go through those 9.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I have no idea where this idea that he killed 10 people, like a family of 10 to start off with Rogozhin started, because even Onoprienko says that's not how he started killing. We're going to tell his story in a second. But it's just a weird thing that gets reported a lot, and if you actually sit down and do the math, it's very obvious that is not how he started his killing spree or his career as a serial killer. Yeah.
Is it terrible that when you say killed a family of 10 during a botched robbery, all I can hear in my head is the Benny Hill music?
Yeah. Just chasing these fucking people.
Oh, that's just the biggest fuck up.
Especially for a first one where you're not used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
oh,
right?
Fuck. Well, honestly, Craig Price. I mean, he was only 15, but he's 5'10", 240. And his second killing there with the woman and her 2 young daughters. He even found just controlling these 3 is fucking insane.
Yeah, to control 10.
I was not ready for this.
Yeah.
And then he just stabbed until the room was quiet. That was a rough story, too. Check out the Craig Price episode if you haven't. It's rougher than you think. Yeah.
Yeah. Whew.
So according to Onoprienko, his first murders were of a married couple he happened to come across on the highway on June 14th, 1989. Alexander and Ludmila Melnick were on the road standing next to their Lada car. Of course, it's a Lada.
The best name. It's a Lada car.
Oh, yeah. Ladas were awesome.
It's a Lada car.
They're like Yugos, but worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were standing next to their Lada car when Onoprienko pulled up and shot them for zero fucking reason.
I just felt like it.
Yep. He then robbed the couple, later saying, quote, "I just shot them. It's not that it gave me pleasure, but I felt this urge. From then on, it was almost like some game from outer space."
It's a weird way to describe it.
He says a lot of weird things. Yep. This was followed a month later on July 16th when Viktor Vasiliuk and Anna Vasiliuk, a Polish couple traveling to Dnipropetrovsk, was carjacked and murdered. Remember Dnipropetrovsk?
I do.
Yeah, they have problems.
They do have problems.
These murders pulled some attention because the Vasilyuks were foreigners, and the police quickly rounded up a local drug addict couple and pinned the murders on them because this happens everywhere, but it really happens in the Soviet.
Of course it does.
Yeah, you're weird.
Yeah.
You must done it.
Yeah, you're different.
The man accused hung himself in prison not long after being arrested, and the woman died in the hospital after constant police pressuring.
Pressuring.
Yeah, as in we beat her
Heavy
until she died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming he probably killed himself because he was sick of the pressuring.
He was probably handed a fucking tied up bed sheet and told, you do it or we will.
Right.
Yeah. Plus, this is, once again, 1989 at the breakdown of the Soviet Union, so I'm sure there are very few whatever controls usually exist, out the fucking window at this point.
Yeah. I do it my way right now.
The old Soviet dude who's been doing it since the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
I'd get confession or they die.
Yeah, don't have oversight anymore.
Exactly a month after the Vasilya killings, Onoprienko slaughtered his first family, the Podoliks. Yevgeny was in his car with three of his female relatives, Valentina, Paula, Lena, and they also had Yevgeny's son in there, Sasha. There's a conflict on what happened here. One said Onoprienko pushed the car off the road while they were driving, and then he went to attack the people in the car.
Right.
Another said they were asleep in the car when Onoprienko just walked up. So it's really hard to tell what's going on with these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're sleeping in the car, I'm assuming you're fucking homeless.
If you're sleeping in the car... Either that or you're traveling a very long distance from one point to the next.
Fair enough, too, because I'm sure the motel system in fucking Ukraine at the time might not be the best.
I've slept in my car on long road trips, across Canada and back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not every night, but a couple of nights.
I know people have done it. I've never done it myself, but yeah.
I mean, to be fair, this was also in the 90s. I don't know.
I've also never done a long road trip like that where I'd have to. So
yeah, this was 7 days of driving in each direction.
Yeah, the only time I ever did anything like a long road trip was with my parents driving when I was a kid. So yeah. So anyway, either he forced them off the road or he came upon this car with 5 people inside. So Onoprienko walked up to the car with a rifle in his hand and knocked on the window. Hey.
Hey!
Yevgeny saw the rifle and reached to grab his own weapon that he carried in his car because, hey, it's
Russia.
fucking Ukraine. Yep. This is what we do. Apparently it's...
I mean, to be fair, there are people in Canada and the U.S., in every country, who carry weapons in their car. Doesn't have to be a rifle.
But, yeah, Ukraine.
Yeah, you definitely want to have something.
Right? But unfortunately, as soon as Yevgeny went to grab his gun, Onoprienko shot him from point-blank range.
Yeah, of course.
He then started just blasting into the car, stopping only when he killed all 5 people, including 11-year-old Sasha.
Well, I'm not going to leave any witnesses.
No, he did his version of stabbing until the room was quiet. He just shot until the car was quiet.
It doesn't matter. I'm just going to kill all of you.
Now, in a move he would never repeat, I found this fucking strange. Onoprienko seemed to linger over his crime and reflect on what he'd done. He sat in the car with the bodies for 2 fucking hours, and he said he contemplated suicide pretty much the entire time. When the stench of the bodies became too much for Onoprienko, he dragged them to a nearby ditch. So he just... whoop.
You guys stink now. I have to throw you out.
But that's when he saw one of the victims twitch, so he stabbed her in the back with a knife to make sure she was dead. So he's not feeling too fucking remorseful.
No.
Yeah. When he was finished, Onoprienko set the car on fire to destroy any evidence, and then he just left. Yeah. Later, Onoprienko would say, quote, I was approaching the car only to rob it. I was a completely different person then. Had I known there had been 5 people, I would have left. He followed up with, quote, corpses are ugly. They stink and send out bad vibes. After I killed the family in the car, I sat in the car with the bodies for 2 hours not knowing what to do with them. The smell was unbearable. It's just weird. This is the only time he does anything like this. And he just hangs out with a bunch of corpses that he just killed in a fucking car.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
This guy's weird.
He is a strange one. So by my count, at the end of 1989, Onoprienko had killed 9 people, or 19 by some narratives, which also is called Wikipedia. So the 9 he had killed are Alexander and Ludmila Melnik, Viktor Vasiliuk and Anna Vasiliuk, that's the couple from Poland, and the Podolik family, Yevgeny, Valentina, Paula, Lena, and Sasha.
Well, that's fun.
And then there's another huge gap where very little is known about Onoprienko's movements. Yay, another huge gap in information. From mid-1989 to mid-1995. 6 years.
No biggie.
Onoprienko moved to Europe and spent his time bouncing from country to country. Yep, where he found labor jobs on farms and supplemented his meager income by robbing every place he got near.
So, good news for the countries he was bouncing around in Europe that we have no record of for 6 fucking years.
Don't worry, though.
Definitely no bodies there.
It's known that Onoprienko was deported from both Germany and Austria during this period.
Huh.
Although no reasons were given for these deportations.
We don't want to talk about it.
He also tried to get citizenship from a number of other countries, but his Ukrainianness was too strong, and his applications were all denied. They just took one look at him. They're like, no, look at you. You're obviously a murderous fucking Ukrainian.
Oh, we don't want you.
Please get out of our country.
Yeah. You've been deported, but we're not going to say why.
Yeah.
Twice.
So during this 6-year period, there was no evidence, apparently, that Onoprienko kept murdering while traveling Europe. Authorities in countries where Onoprienko had visited claimed they investigated thoroughly and had found no proof that Onoprienko had committed any murders in their countries while he was there.
How thorough.
So according to that, he killed a bunch of people in 1989, went on a 6-year trip to Europe, bouncing between countries, where he was fucking deported from 2 of them. But no, he didn't kill anyone.
No. Nobody.
I have questions.
Me too.
That seems a little sketchy, but
Right.
maybe that's just me being a skeptic.
I feel like at least if he had killed someone in Germany, they're not the type to not keep a record of that. It's weird that there's no reason given for why he was deported.
Germany is sketchy, and I could see them just being like, get him out. He killed some homeless people. We don't care. No one cares. Just get him out.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
If it was that kind of a crime, one of their NHIs.
Yeah. Everyone's got their NHIs, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Canada, they're natives.
Yeah.
Yeah. In America, they're black prostitutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be, but here we are.
Yeah. Pretty much everywhere it's the homeless.
Oh, God, yeah.
If you find a homeless and whatever hashtag of, minority works in your country.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. If you're in Canada and you find a homeless native person, you got nothing to worry about.
That is a killer's dream.
You might get a medal from this fucking country for that.
There's a never-ending supply of homeless, and we're getting so many more lately. It's a killer's dream right now.
It really is.
Yeah. Maybe the billionaires are really secretly murderers, and they
secretly.
I meant they have their open murders.
Yeah.
Of their workers and shit, but then they secretly like to go kill homeless at night.
I still don't think it's secret.
It's only secret from us.
Oh, fuck. By the fall of 1995...
We're gonna get killed.
Oh, God, yeah. Onoprienko was back in Ukraine, and if he hadn't been killing in Europe, he picked up where he left off 6 years before. So, once again, according to their narrative,
yeah, right.
He did nothing murderous in Europe, but as soon as he lands back in Ukraine, it's just like he smells it. He's like, yes, I'm home. I must murder.
I somehow doubt that he took those 6 years off.
Yeah.
Just saying.
The first victims of spree number 2 were Alexander Svetlovsky, and Galina Grushenko. Our first Galina.
Galina.
Yep.
All right, Mo, you help me keep track. That's 1.
That's 1. And this was on October 5th, 1995. They were sitting in a car selling jewelry.
As one does.
As one does. It's so fucking weird.
I mean, is this a beach in Mexico where tourists come? Because other than that...
No, this is some shithole in fucking Ukraine. So, you know...
Yeah, we just sell jewelry from
roadside
the car.
Jewelry kiosk from my car.
Yeah, they've got a creative marketplace system over there.
They really do. This is also mid-90s Ukraine, so it's
yeah.
fucking chaos. Yeah. It's literally just, you know, nuts.
Chaos.
Yeah.
That's a good word for it.
Yep. Because, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that. Once again, it's Ukraine. This is the only place this is going to happen.
It's amazing.
You don't buy jewelry from fucking people in cars?
I've never bought jewelry from a roving car store.
Right.
Yeah,
it's not sketchy at all.
Yeah, that's weird.
It does remind me
I definitely don't think it's going to turn my finger green.
It reminds me of Futurama. Yeah, back alley Russian surgeons.
Yeah.
Where Fry wants the gills, and you give me lungs, gills come next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very sketchy.
Right? It's all above board. Jewelry car.
Onoprienko approached the
jewelry car?
The jewelry car and demanded money from the pair. And when Alexander refused, Onoprienko started blasting. It's what he's prone to do. Yeah. He's shown that this is his go-to.
Yeah.
First club out of the bag for a fucking sports reference.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You say, no, well, then okay, I got a gun. I shoot you.
Yeah. Galina was killed instantly before Onoprienko used a hunting knife to finish off the wounded Alexander.
Fun.
Yeah.
Lucky Alexander.
He then stole what jewelry and money he could find, drove the car with the corpses to a nearby forest, and blew it up with a gas cylinder.
Nice.
Satisfied with his work, Onoprienko then went home.
Do you think he did a slow-mo, walk away in front of the explosion while taking his sunglasses off?
I don't know if Michael Bay was there to do a twisting fucking 360 shot of it.
Should have been.
And yes, if we're keeping count now, by my count we're at 11 victims. If you count the 10 that apparently happened to start off, we're at 21.
And that's with blank spots.
That's with blank spots. 2 huge blank spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
16 years worth of blank spots.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
As he bounces around Europe with nobody really watching him and no trail, you know.
Just random deportations.
It's fine, too. Because that's the other thing. I mean, it says Germany, but also Germany unifies at the same time as Russia is breaking up. So there's a lot of chaos. If he goes to East Germany, there's a lot of chaos there.
That's true.
Where he can just kind of, whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then just a month later, actually under a month later, Onoprienko committed a one-off murder in Odessa, the city where he had worked for the cruise ship back in the day. Which is way out of his zone, but he just seems to have...
I took a day trip.
Well, it could have been kind of focused, too, because on November 1st, Maria Parschuk, who might have been his former landlord, although... like all sources in this, some say she was, some say she was just a random person. She happened upon Onoprienko as he was robbing her apartment, and he quickly killed her. When Onoprienko left, he did his usual thing of setting the apartment on fire, presumably to destroy evidence, although with him, it's hard to tell, it could have been for fun.
Might just like fire.
How can you tell? He might have just been like, I want to watch the body burn.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
I just like it.
What does corpse smell like?
Not good, apparently.
Then on Christmas Eve, 1995, Onoprienko committed the murders that cemented his signature. He would pick out an isolated house in a rural area, storm in and kill the entire family, usually with a sawed-off double-barrel shotgun.
Ugh.
Although he would use knives or blunt objects to kill any survivors of the initial shooting. Yep. And that was his signature, too. Kick in a door, walk in blasting. Whoever's still moving after the initial blasting is just finished off with a knife or whatever he can find at hand to bash a head in. Yeah.
That's Surprise!
Yeah, and also part of that is always go for the adults first, usually the adult male first, and work your way down. So a lot of the
highest threat level.
And so that means a lot of the bashings and stabbings are
Yeah.
of children, where most of the shootings are of adults.
Yeah.
Happy thoughts.
Right?
And of course, the other part of his signature is robbing. All of this, I mean, I think it was all part and parcel. I don't think he was killing to do the robbing. I think it was all just one big. But he would always rob where.
Wow.
Yeah.
You gotta pay for my habit.
Plus, get your extras. And once again, by one account, he always stole the underwear of his victims. So he also might have liked his trophies, too.
That's a weird trophy.
Yeah, especially for someone who's not sexually assaulty, particularly.
Yeah, right? Like, that's why that stands out to me as...
Yeah, he's just walking in blasting.
Yeah.
One thing he's not is subtle.
Yeah, no, he's not
He is not a subtle criminal.
But yeah, he doesn't seem rapey, so it's weird that he goes for the underwear.
I think he tries a little later, but it's not a big thing for him.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be his driving factor.
He's not like one I've done recently who will be coming up soon, Joachim Kroll. Where it's like, wow, everything about every bit of everything you've ever done is sexual. Like, holy shit, you're gross.
That's gonna be fun.
Oh, nobody's ready. So bad. Stay tuned. That should be a couple weeks away.
Nice.
So the home Onoprienko picked on Christmas Eve belonged to the Zaichenko family. Nikolai, his wife Yulia, their kids Boris and Oleg. Of course it's fucking Oleg.
Yeah.
Onoprienko waited until night before bursting through the door like the fucking Kool-Aid man and slaughtering the family of 4, shooting the adults and strangling and stabbing 3-year-old Boris and 3-month-old Oleg. So he's not above killing a 3-month-old infant.
Which just... That 3-month-old is neither a threat...
Or a witness.
Yeah, right?
That's always my... I mean, I hate to be heartless, but I get making sure there are no witnesses.
Yeah, but a 3-month-old, that's not a threat or a witness.
No.
You know? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but anyway, he doesn't agree.
No. He's just in kill mode.
And then, because he's a dick, Onoprienko chopped the ring fingers off of Yulia and Nikolai to steal the couple's wedding rings, before grabbing some other valuables and lighting the house on fire and leaving.
Well, joke's on him. He'd only get our tattoos.
Right. Also, I'm not sure if it was this one, because there's another one where he cuts off an engagement ring, but I'm pretty sure it's from the Zachenkos that he, after this, goes home to his then-girlfriend and gives her the engagement ring.
You want to get married?
That's where I got your ring.
No.
I chopped it off the corpse of the family I butchered.
It's your mom's ring, so I don't think you chopped it off your mom.
So yeah, also with the murder of the Zaichenko family, that takes the count up to 16 for me, 26 if you're going with the...
With the original 10.
The original 10 family members guild.
Yes.
Then on December 29th, Onoprienko committed another assault and murder. This one there is no info on whatsoever, except for the dude's name or the woman's name, just M. Milnovsky. That's it.
Huh.
No place, no nothing, just a date, and then this person was murdered and killed. Well, assaulted and killed. Anyway, Onoprienko must have been feeling the holiday spirit, because he followed up that murder by killing another entire family on New Year's Eve 1995.
Happy New Year!
Yeah, so Christmas Eve, he kills a family, then a one-off on the 29th, and then New Year's Eve, another family.
Jesus.
In the village of Bratkowice, near the Polish border, Onoprienko had scoped out the home of the Kruchowskis on the outskirts of town. While he was watching, Onoprienko saw Peter and Maria hanging curtains when he decided to make a visit to the house. Hey! How you doing, Peter and Maria? Not very good.
No.
As he had done with the Zaichenko family, Onoprienko burst into the home and just shot Peter in the head. Hey!
Hey.
Maria started screaming and ran to her husband, but Onoprienko stopped her with a shot. But that wasn't everyone in the house, as 2 of Maria's sisters, Lisa and Miroslava, were also there. First, he found Lisa hiding under the kitchen table and killed her with another shot. Later, it was found that Lisa had nearly bitten through the bones in her hand in an attempt to stay quiet as she listened to Peter and Maria being murdered. Yeah. Not long after, Onoprienko found Miroslava and shot her too.
Well, of course.
That makes the kill count 21.
You gotta find her.
Yeah. Happy that no one was left in the house, Onoprienko got down to robbing the place and the corpses, because why not?
Yeah.
As he had done with the last family, Onoprienko cut the ring finger off of Maria and stole her engagement ring, but left Peter's on his finger. Apparently, Peter didn't have a very good ring. And then he took a severe left turn, and according to one account, Onoprienko then had sex with one of the women's corpses. I'm just going to dip my toe in, see if I like it.
Right? I haven't tried this yet.
Now that he was finished, Onoprienko set the house on fire and was about to leave when a man happened to see him getting ready to flee the scene.
Whoops.
Undaunted, Onoprienko simply shot him and stole his shoes because why not? It's the fucking Ukraine.
Yeah.
Hey.
I mean, your shoes, I'm going to take those. They look better than mine.
Peter had shit to your ring, but I like your shoes. I shoot you in face and steal shoes.
Yeah.
This takes his kill count up to 22, or 32 by original count. I'm being a dick about this.
No, it's important because it's very messed up because it's not clear.
Yeah, nothing's clear.
Nothing's clear.
Ukraine.
Plus, there's, 16 missing years already.
Where for 6 of them he bounced around Europe,
Just getting kicked out of country after country. For no reason.
I'm sure there was a reason.
He just didn't like me.
It was his Ukrainianness. They could smell it.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get shot by Ukrainians. They're a big Ukrainian community in Moncton?
No.
I fucking hope not.
My best friend growing up was Ukrainian in Winnipeg.
That's what happened to you.
Yeah.
That's how we ended up here. It took Onoprienko less than a week to kill again, this time taking her train 800 fucking miles, or 1,300 kilometers, to Einerhoder in eastern Ukraine. Or Einerhoder. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Einerhoder.
It's fucking eastern Ukrainian. The reason for the trip was never disclosed, but by the time he was done, Onoprienko had killed another 7 people.
Well,
It's a good trip, that is.
Yeah. That's vacation, man.
Spring break! On the night of January 5th to the 6th, which is Christmas Eve in the Russian Orthodox Church, because they're weird and don't know how to do a calendar, right? Well, I'm not going to get into the Julian calendar.
Oh, Christ. There's so many things wrong with all the calendars that just don't even get me started.
Yeah, right. But on the night of the 5th to 6th of January, Onoprienko came across 2 people sitting together in a car. Sergei Odintsov and Tamara Dolinin. They were either sitting in their broken down car, or more likely, they were banging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, different accounts.
I mean...
So they're either sitting there in a broken down car in the middle of winter in Ukraine, just hanging out.
Right.
Or they're smashing.
Or they're getting ready to smash. Because, sometimes you're just...
Yeah.
Foreplay.
Either,
in a car in winter in the Ukraine.
Whatever was going on, Onoprienko walked up to the car and shot Sergei. Tamara was unharmed in the initial shooting, and she ran from the car before, of course, Onoprienko caught her. He's the fucking Terminator. You're not running away from him.
No.
And he shot her in the head with his sawed-off shotgun.
Of course he did.
Yeah. He then stripped her, and then he raped the corpse, because, hey, I kind of...
It was kind of fun the first time.
I'll give it another shot.
Yeah.
Why not? I'm sowing my oats. New year, new me.
Oh, God. That's a terrible version of New Year, New Me.
It's not the best.
This year, I'm going to fuck all the corpses. That's a great resolution.
Glad I'm the gravedigger.
Yeah.
It's fun being the coroner. It's fun knowing the coroner, too, isn't it, Jimmy Savile?
All right.
Yeah.
That'll be a whole pile of worms. Holy fuck.
Oh, he's scheduled for season 2.
Yeah.
Or year 2. We don't have seasons.
No.
We never stop.
We just keep going.
Right. So after killing the two in their car, Onoprienko then shoved both bodies into the trunk of Sergei's car and left. After driving less than a mile, Onoprienko saw police officer Alexander Rybalko walking with his friend, Sergei Garmash, and for no reason, he pulled over and shot both men to death. Because the bodies are in the trunk. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
But anyway, he pulls over and he's like, fuck you, fuck you.
Just in a mood.
He then spotted another potential witness, Viktor Kasayev, and Onoprienko shot him for good measure.
Well, he might have seen me, so...
And that's what this turns into.
Benny Hill yet again.
It fucking is. He goes into a house, kills a bunch of people, and then sees like 8 people on the way out and just kills everyone.
Well,
fuck.
They saw me.
Oh, fuck.
This guy's fucked.
Yep. So now with the bodies of 2 of the victims in the trunk of the car he was driving, and a total of 5 victims killed that night, Onoprienko spotted another pulled over car with someone inside. He pulled over and shot the driver, Anatoly Svetsky, and stuffed his body in the trunk along with Sergei and Tamara.
I'm just collecting.
At this point, the ass of that car is going to start tracking.
Yeah,
You're going to
right?
wonder, what do you have in the trunk, sir?
Yeah. Good God, that's...
But wait,
Jesus Christ.
there's more. Onoprienko then drove down an isolated country road and set the car on fire with the bodies inside, because this is what he does.
Yeah.
As he was leaving on foot, Onoprienko saw a milkmaid. Jesus. Nadezhda Kochergina. And he decided she was another possible witness. So he shot her too.
She might have seen me.
Fucking hell. And all, Onoprienko had killed 7 people that night, mostly by killing people he thought could be potential witnesses.
Yeah, well, I mean, it started out small.
And there might have been another woman killed during this night, but they're not sure. Like, it's only from one source, but it seemed like a decent source, but it never showed up anywhere else. I left it out of the final total, but this shows you how fucked up.
Yeah.
It was 7 or 8 people in one night he killed in this village.
Yeah. It was a lot.
This takes his kill count to 29 or 39.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or 40 or 30 if you add in the... We aren't sure about.
Oh, God, no.
Extra
So you could be
one.
up to the fucking hundreds.
Well, no, I was just meaning the one that's only mentioned in one source.
Yeah,
Takes it from
fair
7
enough,
to 8.
right? Because, yeah, that
We
is
take it
the
from
one
29
sourcer.
to 30 or from 39 to 40.
Yeah, because even the other one off Malinsky there,
Yeah.
where it's just a name and a date, that name and date shows up multiple times. So it's like, okay, I'm pretty sure that's a solid one. On January 17th, 1996, Onoprienko returned to the village of Bratkovichi, where he had murdered the Krukovsky family on New Year's Eve just 2 weeks before. This time, he picked the home of the Palat family and pried open a door with a chisel to break in. Once inside, Onoprienko found pensioners Vladimir I and Olga, married couple Oleg and Lisa, and their child, 6-year-old Vladimir II.
Jesus.
Yeah, we've got an Olga and Oleg, 2 Vladimirs, and a Lisa.
Lisa's the easiest one to remember.
It's spelled...
Lisa needs braces.
Right. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, because it's spelled Lesya. It's Lisa in my mind.
Yeah. Licia.
Vladimir I heard Onoprienko broken in and went to investigate, and consequently, he was the first one to be killed.
Of course.
Never go look.
No.
No. Send your wife. Love you. It really didn't matter because then Onoprienko methodically killed everyone in the house before rifling through the place for valuables. And when he was finished, guess what? He lit the house on fire.
Of course he did.
He has a set menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't go outside the box.
No, you're not hiding from him. You're not escaping from this fuckery.
No. And guess what happened when he went outside?
Oh, Christ. How far is he going to snowball this time?
Onoprienko saw what he thought could be witnesses pretty
Oh my
much
God.
as soon as he walked out the door. So he shot our first Galina Konzela.
Isn't this our second Galina?
Or second Galina, sorry.
See,
That's right.
Gizmo helped me remember.
Yep. And he also shot Stefan Zacharko just to be safe, because he might have seen him. This takes the kill total to 36. Or 46. Or 47. Or 37.
Plus question mark.
Plus 6 years missing in Europe and a 10-year gap in the 80s.
Yeah, so, Now,
the authorities still hadn't put together the fact that all these mass killings with robbery and arson were connected, but as often happened in ex-USSR states where information is restricted, rumors ran wild. Yeah. Most people in the villages near Bratkovichi and western Ukraine as a whole, they became convinced a serial predator was, preying on them. But the police did little to nothing at this point. They're just like, we got problems of our own.
This is the Ukraine. Have you seen our fucking crime rate?
Yep. And at this time, Onoprienko was in full fucking rampage mode.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't even... Once again, in January still of 1996, on the 30th, he slaughtered another family for shits and giggles.
Well, I was bored.
In the village of Fastova, about 90 miles from Kiev, Onoprienko tried to hijack a car from Sergei Zagranichny. Sergei Zagranichny. But he botched it and Sergei tried to get away.
Well, just take my car, man.
He's Ukrainian. He's going to fight.
I know, but... I'm so not Ukrainian. It's just...
Take the car.
Yeah, just drop me off.
You're the woman Legier hijacked at the hospital. Yeah, please, man, take the car. Just let me out.
Yeah.
All right. Shut.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Sergei, he tried to get away, and he pulled into a driveway and grabbed a shovel for self-defense.
Wow, yeah.
So he tried, Onoprienko shows up, tries to carjack him. He pulls into a driveway.
Grabs a shovel.
But Onoprienko caught up with him and just shot him, because gun beats shovel.
Gun does beat shovel.
But then he grabbed the shovel and proceeded to beat Sergei just to make sure he was dead.
What?
Hey, you look good with that shovel in your hand. Let me try.
Yeah, it seems like fun.
Yeah, it did. Because the driveway Sergei had pulled into belonged to Svetlana Murasina. And she had 2 children, Boris and Dennis, 7 and 6 respectively.
Oh, Christ.
Yep. We're going down.
They didn't mind their business and just,
Well, they actually happened to be leaving their house as the car pulled up, so they pretty much saw everything.
They just walked into this.
Yeah, and as soon as they encountered Onoprienko, yeah, so it wasn't while he was pulling it. It was probably while he was beating him with the shovel.
Yeah.
That these 3 walk out and see this fucking psycho beating a man on their front lawn with a shovel. Yeah.
Yeah. You're about to have a really bad time.
Yeah. So as soon as Onoprienko saw them, he started shooting, and in no time the mother and her 2 children were either dead or critically injured.
Of course.
Somehow, 6-year-old Boris had survived the shooting, but Onoprienko quickly saw to that.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to let him live.
He grabbed the shovel again, because he liked the shovel.
It's effective.
Yep. And he beat little Boris to death with it.
Poor little fucking kid.
And
never stood a chance.
Nope, and these murders seem completely pointless, as there's no word that Onoprienko stole anything from any of his victims on this one.
Just killing this time. He just was looking for a drive.
Yep, and that takes us...
this is what happened.
This takes us either to 40, 41, 50, or 51 kills.
Jesus Christ, man.
They add up when you kill families.
Yeah, when you just... And anyone that you think is a fucking witness.
More witnesses.
Oh, my God.
This person with eyes.
This guy is just the fucking worst.
He's hard to deal with.
Yeah. I don't like him.
He's a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Yeah, when he's in kill mode, man, which seems to be just him.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I just exist to kill. So...
I just exist to kill. But I'm sure he was fine in Europe for 6 years.
Yeah, he was just getting kicked out of all the countries for no reason at all.
No, he just showed up fucking and started doing this out of the blue.
Yeah. Jesus.
Onoprienko then went back to his home area for his next killings, traveling back to eastern Ukraine and striking again on February 19th, 1996. In the village of Olvesk. Who cares? It's eastern Ukraine. You're probably taken over by Russia by this point.
Yeah.
Onoprienko picked his house, this time belonging to the Dubček family, and he made his move. As he closed in on the house, 32-year-old Anatoly Dubček came out of the house to fill the family coal bucket, and he was met with a shotgun blast directly to the face. Yeah. Hey. Onoprienko entered the house and found Yulia Dubček, Anatoly's wife, inside. Hey.
Hey.
But it seems something clicked for him when he was using the shovel during the last murders, and instead of doing his usual shooting of every time, this time Onoprienko grabbed a hammer.
Well, I mean, that shovel really got a taste for it.
He's growing as a professional.
I don't like
He's
it.
adding things to his repertoire.
Arr.
He bludgeoned Yulia to death, and he may have raped her pre- or post-mortem, conflicting accounts, but it seems like something he's sliding into more and more. Excuse the pun, but...
Yeah. He's found a niche.
Unlike a lot of people who it seems like they get into necrophilia and that becomes their thing, this just seems to be something he dabbles in from
Every
time
now
to
and then
time.
he's a little horny when he kills.
Right. You know,
Yeah.
this one particularly got me going.
Yeah.
I'm standing here with a rod on, I might as well do something with it. She's not going to mind.
I mean,
Yeah.
consent's irrelevant when you're dead.
I'm just going to put that in isolation.
You know how other people have live, laugh, love up on their walls?
Consent doesn't matter when you're dead.
Consent is irrelevant when you're dead. Might be going on a wall somewhere.
So after killing Yulia, Onoprienko then found 9-year-old Victoria hiding in her room. Or she was praying, or she was sleeping, depends on the account you believe.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was in her room.
One way or another, this poor child was in her room.
Yep. Onoprienko went to the room and demanded that Victoria tell them where the family hid their money and valuables.
I'm 9, I don't know.
Yeah, right? And you
What the
just
fuck?
killed the 2 people who fucking knew.
Yeah. Hello.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus fucking
Yeah,
Christ.
it seems like something you might have asked the father before shooting him in the face or bashing the mother's head in.
Right?
But, you know, here I am being picky about your crimes.
I don't fucking know.
Such fucking backseat driver.
Ask me where my parents' valuables are. I don't fucking know.
No idea.
Yeah.
Victoria refused to tell Onoprienko anything, or she didn't know. And later, he said he was surprised by her courage and defiance to him, saying, quote, "That strength was incredible, but I felt nothing." Nothing indeed, because seconds later, Onoprienko mauled her with a hammer to the point that fragments of her skull were found all the way down the hallway and in her parents' room.
Jeez.
Yeah. Overkill with this hammer.
Well, he didn't really like that she said no.
Right. Yeah. That takes our kill total to 43, 44, or 53 and 54, which is already over what he's convicted of.
Yes. Well, we all know you never get convicted for all of them.
True.
Yeah.
But he seems to be the type, too. He remembers his kills. He has no trouble with it. Yeah, I did him. Fuck
Yeah.
you. Which I can see that with his attitude. You caught me. I'll cop to everything I did. Then there's another one-off on February 26th. Victor Gutz, an ambulance driver, was shot when Onoprienko robbed him, and Victor resisted.
Well,
So he's robbing ambulances now.
I mean, that's where all the drugs are.
And this is another one, very little info on the murder, not even a location. But it's reported multiple times that every time, ambulance driver, Victor Gutz, February 26th. So, you know, I'll give it to him.
Why not?
That takes us to 44, 45, 54, or 55. The next day, on February 27th, in the village of Malina near the Polish border, Onoprienko continued his new sport of family killing.
Well,
Although it's not even that new anymore. He's a veteran.
yeah.
Ugh. He spotted the newly built house of the Bondarchuks and thought it looked like a good target.
It's fancy and new.
It is fancy and new. This time, Onoprienko just threw a rock through the front window of the house and waited with a shotgun.
Oh, God.
Yep. When Sergei, another Sergei, came out of the house brandishing an axe, Onoprienko shot him, killing him instantly.
Well, yeah.
Nice axe.
It's going to do a lot against my gun.
But having grown fond of the blunt instruments, Onoprienko grabbed Sergei's axe, whacked him a couple times for good measure, then went inside with axe in hand. Once inside the house, Onoprienko found Galina, Sergei's wife, and our third Galina.
Yeah.
And also shot her at point-blank range. Dispatch the adults. He then moved to the children, 8-year-old Valerie and 7-year-old Tanya, who had been sleeping in a shared room upstairs. Morning.
Hey.
Onoprienko decided to use just the axe on the children, and he started with Tatiana.
Well, why waste shotgun shots?
Valerie, who watched the axe murder of his sister, and knowing he was to be next, snapped his vocal cords screaming in terror before his murder.
Fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a happy detail.
That is fancy detail.
So that is murder 48, 49, 58, or 59.
Good to know that you can rupture your vocal cords by screaming too loud.
I actually knew that from metal music.
I kind of knew it, but it's just a horrifying detail to...
I might be wrong on the dude, but I think it's actually the singer for Brutal Truth really injured his voice at one point. And, that's kind of why they went on hiatus for a while.
Makes sense.
Yeah, like one of the reasons. And I think that's Brutal Truth, but it could definitely happen.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Even without the murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, even without watching the murder of your 7-year-old sister, like, feet away from you, knowing you're next. Yeah, I can see that.
Because you have no escape.
Later, Onoprienko said of these killings, quote, "Oh, I killed them because I loved them so much. Those children, those men and women, I had to kill them. The inner voice spoke inside my mind and heart and pushed me so hard." He killed them because he loved them.
Okay. That's no.
Oh, yeah, he's fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah, no, he's definitely very mentally
way
ill.
Out there.
Yeah.
Now, the next killing is one of the most disputed, as there are two accounts that totally fucking differ from each other. What's for sure is 28-year-old Boris Salk, or Salko, or Polislav Salko, was shot and hacked to death just in front of his house. But one account says this was the same night as the Bondarchuk family killings, while another says it was over 2 weeks later on March 14th and occurred during a botched robbery. So who knows, because why not? It's the fucking Ukraine.
Yeah.
So we don't really know his name. There are 3 different versions of it. We don't know the date of. All we know is his age. And that he ended up hacked to death. Yeah. During a botched robbery, which seems weird because he's a shooter.
Okay.
Anyway, that's murder 49, 50, or 59, 60. And this is when the fucking... finally, the authorities finally started taking the string of killings seriously. Hey, maybe this is one guy who just keeps wiping out families and killing
Right?
We keep finding these houses full of dead people, and then this fucking ring of people around that just
dead.
Just dead. A manhunt involving 2,000 police was initiated, and a force of 3,000 National Guards were deployed to the villages of western Ukraine.
Jesus.
Complete with tanks and other military hardware.
Woo!
Yep. So, Onoprienko was so fucking terrifying, they busted out the fucking tanks. Which is just stupid. That's not how you stop a serial killer.
No, but
it is funny.
It's fucking hilarious.
He got a full military response.
That's is that even a level you can hit in GTA? Because
I don't know. I know I've had a lot of the police force after me.
Right? But that's a lot of heat, man. Holy shit. Tanks rolling in on fucking villages. You have fucking terrorized the population so badly.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing.
I know, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are a military force at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucked. That's fucking hilariously bad.
Yeah. Like, seriously.
I mean,
That's
oh my
like
God.
a regiment of military sent out to stop one guy.
Mm-hmm.
The Terminator.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally an action movie at this point. Fuck's sakes. That's not how you're going to stop him.
Fucking Rambo coming through the woods, just mowing down fucking police.
Yeah.
Areas where Onoprienko was suspected of hunting would be blockaded by the police, but Onoprienko, he had no problem dodging these blocks and traps.
Of course not.
It was just like, come on, you got...
This is not how you're going to stop him. This is ridiculous.
Like, he's not a subtle killer. This amount of force is not subtle.
No!
Yeah.
Fuck no. That amount of force wouldn't be subtle in a large city, and these are small villages.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
Right. Despite the 5,000 person force they claimed they had on the case, Ukrainian authorities were wholly inept in finding Onoprienko, and at this point, they still had no idea who they were even looking for. No name, no description, no info.
No, he's just the ghost.
He's the fucking... And I'm sorry, I said Citizen X before. It was Citizen O he's known as.
Oh.
For Onoprienko. Yeah, derp.
So much worse for some reason.
On March 22nd, 1996, Onoprienko traveled to Busk, a village not far from Bratkovici, where, that's where he had slaughtered one family on New Year's Eve and another family on January 17th.
Yeah.
So he likes this area.
It's homey.
He spent some time walking the streets and looking for a soft target before eventually picking the Novosad family home. Onoprienko crept up to the front window of the house when 30-year-old, this poor bastard, Mikhail Novosad leaned on the family's TV. He came into full view of Onoprienko. Onoprienko took the opportunity and shot Mikhail in the chest with his trusty shotgun. Then he blasted the fucking front door open with another shot. So he's not even kicking the door in and going in. He's like, oh, you're in the window. Blam! Now I'm gonna shoot the fucking door open, and here's the Terminator. Fuck, some call me Citizen O. Fuck, get ready.
He is not subtle.
Nope.
Jesus Christ.
Onoprienko walked into the house and saw Mikhail's wife, Galina number 4, and shot her instantly. He then found Galina's sister, Irina, hiding under the kitchen table, and yep, he shot her too.
Of course. You're not hiding. That's barely a hiding place, first of all.
You don't have much time, though.
No. I get making the attempt.
He then made his way downstairs and found Mikhail and Galina's 10-year-old daughter, Ludmila, which I think is the second or third Ludmila also?
I think so.
Yeah. And he switched from his shotgun to a knife to take care of the child.
Waste of a show.
Yeah. When he was finished, Onoprienko had cut Ludmila from her stomach to her throat and left her to bleed out.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. He didn't like Ludmila.
That's horrifying.
When he was rifling the place, Onoprienko noticed that Mikhail was still alive, and Onoprienko demanded that he tell where the family hid its money. Mikhail told of a floorboard where the money was hidden, and Onoprienko stabbed him with the knife he had just used to kill his daughter.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks for the money.
Yeah. Your daughter's bleeding out in the other room.
See that blood on the tip of the knife?
Yeah.
That's where I cut her.
Yeah.
Yes. Of course, that's in Russian accent. That's where I cut her. So much worse than Russian accent.
It is. It's fucking horrifying.
And for good measure, he sliced Mikhail's throat before jamming the knife in Mikhail's mouth and just leaving it there.
Yeah. I mean...
Police Inspector Alexander Ivchenko? Jesus, fucking get a new name. How'd you...
What the
Yeah. IVSH Chenko. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Ivchenko. Police Inspector
That's
Alex.
too many SHCH in a row. Like, it's hard to even spell.
Oh, my brain hurts at this point.
Yeah.
This has been a
Oh my
difficult
goodness.
one for
That's a
multiple
terrible
reasons.
name to try to pronounce. Our tongues don't work that way, Russia.
Police Inspector Alexander Ivchenko, who later investigated the murder scene, said, "What we saw was beyond words. An entire family had horrifically and systematically been wiped out. The image of that house will remain with me forever, and the stench was overpowering."
Yeah, I bet.
This is murder 53, 54, 63, or 64.
It's just a few bodies.
Despite the fact the Ukrainian police were totally unsuccessful in figuring out, who Onoprienko was, let alone finding him and catching him, it wasn't like they had been sitting on their hands this entire time. In fact, they had arrested at least one innocent man, 27-year-old Yuri Mozola, for some of Onoprienko's crimes and tried to get him to confess. I mean, they really fucking tried. To the point that the police tortured this man to death.
Of course they did.
The police were convinced Mozola was responsible for the killings in around Bratkovici, and senior Lieutenant Oleg Pozovnikov. Jesus. Just, yeah.
Yep.
I'm just doing fucking the ranks. And a senior lieutenant and 2 ensigns worked Mozola over for confession. These 3 burned Mozola with an iron, applied electric shock to him, beat him, broke his ribs, his arms, his legs, and disfigured his face over a period of 3 fucking days.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. Before Mozola finally died in his cell without ever confessing.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Just 17 days after Mozola's death, Onoprienko confessed to the murders that he had been accused of.
You know what you don't want to be?
Later, these 3 police officers were tried for what happened to Mozola, and they were given 7, 4, and 3-year sentences.
Well, I mean, at least they got something.
Yeah. Still.
Yeah.
Now, with a total of over 50 people killed and 5,000 police and military working the case, one might think it was a task force or maybe a random roadblock that caught Onoprienko.
No.
How do you think he's caught?
It's not going to be fucking police work, is it?
Actually, it's a good tip, and it actually is 1 good police officer.
Out of 5,000.
Possibly 2. We'll give them 2.
All right.
So your chances in fucking Ukraine of finding someone competent is about 1 in 2,500.
That's not good.
Unless you run into Onoprienko, who is the Terminator and is very competent at what he does.
Yeah, which isn't good.
Oh my god, is the only thing fucking the Ukraine good at murdering? The capture of Onoprienko came down to, 2 good police officers and 1 who had really good relations in the village where he worked, which is very, very helpful. And the other was just competent. In the town of Yavoriv, which is right in the area of the majority of the killings, police officer Igor Cooney got a strange tip from a friend of his, Peter Onoprienko. Peter's weird cousin from the east, Anatoly, had started staying with Peter and his wife in early December, and this continued until weapons were found in Anatoly's room, and he was told to move out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anatoly, who was supremely pissed off, told Peter, quote, "God will punish you and your family on Easter."
don't like that.
Peter told Cooney that his cousin had recently moved in with a woman and her child in a nearby town after being kicked out.
Right.
Peter had tried not to let the threat intimidate him, but as Easter weekend kind of rolled up on him, it seemed to bother him a little more and more that, crazy Anatoly had threatened his family, so he decided to tell his policeman friend, who is Igor Cooney, about the threat. It's also not stated outright, but it seems like one of the weapons that was seen was a sawed-off shotgun. Cooney took this report back to his commanding officer, Deputy Police Chief Sergei Kruikov, another Sergei.
And there are many Sergeys.
And he actually did a bit of good detective work by any standard. Russian, Canadian, American, British, German, I don't care. This is actually pretty good. Kruikov knew that a TOS-34 sawed-off shotgun was used in the Bratkovici killings, and then he also remembered a dispatch he had just seen saying that type of gun had been stolen from the village that Anatoly Onoprienko was from.
Gotcha.
Now, the Kruikov knew this was a long shot, but he decided it was at least enough to talk to Anatoly Onoprienko. That, we've had a lot of murders with this gun.
Talk to him.
Right.
He's been seen with this gun.
Exactly.
Threatened his cousin a little bit. I mean, I know he was being told to leave.
Yep.
But still.
He also took it.
Talk to him.
I also like that he took it a lot more seriously than I think a lot of police officers would, because I think a lot of police would have just been like, well, we'll go check it out. This guy seems to be like, well, it's a long shot, but if it's true, this guy has killed 50 fucking people.
Right.
Maybe we should be smart about this. Yeah. When they got to Onoprienko's apartment in the town that his cousin said he had moved to, they didn't just rush into the apartment and go arrest him. Kruikov went to the building and got access to another apartment that was the same layout as Onoprienko's, and he spent a full half hour learning the layout of the apartment and how it related to the rest of the building. Then guards were set up in the exits from the floor and at the exit of the building. So he's covering his fucking bases. Yeah, he is. And then with all these precautions in place, Kruikov went to Onoprienko's door and rang the bell.
Hello.
So, hey, what's up? Onoprienko, who was home alone and expecting his girlfriend, opened the door without even checking to see who it was. He was quickly handcuffed, and despite this, he tried to make a move for a weapon. With handcuffs on. Yeah. And somehow he wasn't shot on the spot.
Right. That's impressive restraint.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I like these two police officers. They pulled this guy in. Yeah. It wasn't like he was slowing down.
No. Every now and then, a cop does something really right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like the one in Toronto with the guy in the van who was kind of pretending his cell phone was a gun and trying to cop into killing him, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And it was so, yeah. Go rot in jail. Yeah. Don't egg the cop into killing you.
Eventually, those cops get worn out, though, from the system of being a cop, and they retire.
The good ones have a tough time.
Yeah. So his stash of weapons was quickly found, and Onoprienko was arrested and taken off for questioning. At first, when he was brought in, Onoprienko refused to talk to anyone in the police station and said, quote, "I'll talk to a general, but not to you." Oh, posh. When a high enough ranking official arrived, Onoprienko let loose and just told his story.
Wow.
He claimed he was commanded by God to kill and that he had been chosen as a superior specimen.
God told me to do it.
Yep. He claimed he could fucking wield strong hypnotic powers, control animals through telepathy, and stop his heart with his mind. About the murders, he said, quote, "For you it's 52 murders. For me, it's the norm."
The norm.
Yeah.
That's a interesting statement.
Yep. Quote, "A soldier who kills during a war doesn't see who he hits. Someone who kills just a few times doesn't have any control. He can't analyze his actions. I can because I've killed a lot. I perfectly remember once I killed a couple and their 3 children in their car. I went to sit on the father and I drove around the country with the 5 bodies. That was quite interesting."
Well, sitting on the father?
That was the one where...
Just hopped in the dead body's lap? He didn't even move him over?
Apparently.
That's even
uncomfortable is what that is.
Yeah, why don't you shove the guy out of the way? That just adds a whole new level of what the fuckery. What are you doing, man? Do you need a booster seat?
You need something.
That's fuck. That's so much weirder to me. Now I'm broken because what? What?
That's what he did. He's a fun guy.
That's fucked.
When asked if he felt any regret over his actions, Onoprienko said, quote, "None of my victims resisted. Armed or not, man or woman, none of them dared do anything. A human being doesn't mean anything. I've seen weak people. I compare humans to sand grains. There's so much of them that they don't mean a thing."
Lovely.
That's like, that should be the national motto of Ukraine.
That is quite the coldness.
Onoprienko was found competent to stand trial, and the trial began on February 12th, 1999. It had taken years for the case to come to trial for multiple reasons. First, there was a weird quirk of Ukrainian law that said any defendant had the right to access all the evidence against them. And because there were 52 murder charges against him,
pile of fucking shit to go through.
Onoprienko took this for all it was worth. And he took as long as possible to pore over the 99 volumes of evidence against him. Second, the Ukraine was completely fucking broke in the late 90s. And the state simply didn't have the money to stage a huge trial.
Yeah.
It actually took pressure from the victims' families for the trial to begin after years of delays.
We just can't afford it, man.
Right?
What are we supposed to do?
At trial, Onoprienko was put in a metal cage with the victim's family sitting just across from him in an unheated courtroom.
Oh, God.
Yep. He also apparently requested, quote, "a Jew lawyer" to lead his defense, but there's no indication if this request was granted.
I feel like it definitely shouldn't have been, because if you're gonna say it like that, you're such a fucking cunt.
I feel like
you deserve the worst possible defense.
I'm pretty sure he also went into detail about how Jewish the lawyer had to be. From the start, it was obvious Onoprienko was going down, and even his lawyer admitted he hadn't gone through the majority of the evidence against his client. As a lawyer more used to housing and civil disputes than criminal cases, especially ones with 52 murders, he defended his decision to stay ignorant on most of the facts of the case by saying, quote, "You don't have to eat a pot full to understand the taste of borscht."
Yeah, I mean...
Onoprienko claimed he was possessed. Quote, "I'm not a maniac. If I were, I would have thrown myself onto you and killed you right here. No, it's not that simple. I have been taken over by a higher force, something telepathic or cosmic, which drove me. For instance, I wanted to kill my brother's first wife because I hated her. I really wanted to kill her, but I couldn't because I did not receive the order. I waited for all that time, but it did not come. I am like a rabbit in a laboratory, a part of an experiment to prove that man is capable of murdering and learning to live with his crimes. To show that I can cope, that I can stand anything, forget everything."
He's fun.
His whole thing, I'm here to prove that you can kill as many people as you want and still just kind of act like a normal dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy. Look at me.
You can have a beer with me at the bar. Be fine.
Yeah.
And a little more from Onoprienko because he gets talky at the end. Quote, "If I ever..." Jesus Christ, I forgot about this. Quote, "If I am ever let out, I will start killing again. But this time it will be worse. 10 times worse. The urge is there. Seize this chance because I am being groomed to serve Satan. After what I have learned out there, I have no competitors in my field.
Jesus.
And if I am not killed, I will escape from this jail, and the first thing I'll do is find Kuchma, who was the Ukrainian president at the time, and hang him from a tree by his testicles."
Jesus Christ.
Onoprienko was obviously found guilty and given the death penalty, although this was more of a life sentence death sentence, because at the time Ukraine had pledged to get rid of the death penalty to basically incorporate itself more with Europe, blah, 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 blah,
right.
blah, blah. It's a weird time in Ukrainian history, and that can be said pretty much at any time in Ukrainian history.
It's always a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm. But this would be the time just before the Euromaidan movement in Ukraine, which didn't turn out that great. No. In a prison interview, when he was asked if he had any feelings about killing a 2-year-old with a knife, Onoprienko replied, quote, "As for murdering the 2-year-old child, it really didn't matter. There were 2-year-olds before, and there will be 2-year-olds after."
Jesus Christ.
With his position of one of the world's worst serial/mass killers secured, Onoprienko would live for over a decade in a Ukrainian prison before dying of a heart attack on August 27th, 2013, at the age of 54. That is the fucking Anatoly Onoprienko story, and if you made it through that one, woo, good on ya. I feel horrible.
He's rough.
He's a lot.
Oh my god.
He is a hell of a lot.
Just gonna hop in your lap to drive the car after killing you.
Yeah.
What?
It's driven by a force from outer space.
Yeah, he's...
I can control animals with telepathy. You don't kill me, I will fucking hang the president by his goddamn testicles.
These are some pretty good quotes. I mean, like, I just can't...
Some of his quotes are... The 2-year-olds, man, that one... That's why I saved it for last. That one kills me.
That's cold.
So if you like that story, feel free to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or, you know, wherever you listen to us. There's
it
so
helps
many.
us out.
Yeah, there's so many platforms. Yeah, right. Word of mouth works too because we're crazy. Woo woo. We have a producer, of course. Thank you, Mickey Gorman, for your support as always. And until next time, have fun and play safe.
Bye.
Bye. You can email us at mentalillnesstheater@gmail.com, and you can find us on social media at Mental Illness Theater, The Worst on Facebook, Mental Illness Theater on Patreon, and Unicorn Holes on Instagram.